So now we can go to the... Wait, you were just in the Sega Saturn era. Why were you going back here again?
Yeah, because this is where I had to go to get past the next part of the game. The enemies are so much tougher than the last ones that we had to fight that they are unbeatable. So I had to go to this little extra zone that they threw in the game specifically to give you a place to go grind for half an hour so that you could build up your strength enough to... I haven't even tried fighting it since I finished this. I haven't even tried going back to the next part.
How could they possibly be?
Well, they had several things going for them. One, I had no attacks that were effective against them, except in like 1 or 2 cases that one character would have. And another was that there were creatures that were healing the enemies.
They were what?
And they were harder than the ones that were getting healed that I couldn't beat. So,
oh jeez.
You'll see some of them. They're in here, but yeah, you pretty much, they gave you the zone specifically to go grind.
But grinding hasn't been a thing since Final Fantasy on the NES. Like they fixed that, I thought. Pretty much.
Remember in the last one where we had that event pop up for this Toyopolis or Toy Palace zone?
Yeah, I remember that.
Children's Palace zone. Yeah, so it was a lead to be like, hey, you need to go here next. But they don't tell you that outright. I was on it for like almost an hour trying to get past the actual storyline event. I switched all the character classes thinking maybe the extra stats to help. No. I went in the shop and there were 2 new weapons to buy, but they didn't help at all. So
that's kind of terrifying.
And I think there was like 1 extra item you could get. And then I discovered, scrolling through the menu item on the shop, that the accessories section, where you can buy like little bracelets and things.
Yeah.
Compared to everything else, they had really low stats, and there were so many more added that I scrolled down the list. And as I got further and further, the accessories no longer had stats to them, no longer did anything. So they're just
really?
like decorative.
It's my turn.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. Passing out watching this.
I see.
Oh my god, and you have no idea how long some of the fights were taking.
Well, it looks like they take pretty long, or even the small ones.
Yeah, we better get used to this really quick.
One step closer to the ultimate spot.
And why did they give you 2 new characters? You're at level 10, and the new characters start at 0.
The new character? Wait, they didn't level the new characters for you?
Yeah, they didn't give them a base level. They were just like, yep, here you go, level 1.
Oh, jeez.
Go fight toys.
Well, at least you have that stupid formation thing that allows them to all have an extra 1,500 hit points.
I can go anytime.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, there's no point in picking another one so far, it seems. Like, I can't figure out the structure.
That happens in a lot of games. Like, that's not entirely crazy, but...
Oh, maybe not, but I think that they're trying to make it really adjustable in terms of how you use your party, and it's just making everything... Oh yeah, there were a lot of enemies that were resistant to everything in the Mega Drive level, too.
Wonderful. Wow, those things have a lot of hit points.
Yeah.
Hey, there's another fire-based attack. Wanna bet it doesn't work?
Yeah, I kept forgetting, because all the characters have like a different normal attack and power-up attack. It's like one is ice, and one is fire, and one is wind.
Yeah. Here you are praying that there's an item to help you.
I'm using this, alright?
Here's me trying to figure out how to jump back and forth between the menus. I hate the button setup in this game.
You can't change it?
Well, I kept trying to use items, or I kept trying to use skills, and I ended up in the item menu, because I just started using items. Trying to figure out how to beat the last opponents. They didn't help.
Yeah, that's expected.
Yeah, there's no events in this video, so...
No, it's just battles over and
just
over
battles. Over and over and over again.
Hey, cool, they healed themselves.
Yeah, they healed everybody.
No, they didn't heal your people. You should take out the healer. Kill the doctor. Kill him
No.
first.
Saturn is the only one that can really take out the healers easily.
What? How is
Yeah,
that
that was the big problem I was having. I couldn't figure out a good way to tank. Because do you remember the technique that Segami has that with the 100% hit point thing?
Yeah.
It's a tanking skill, but you can use it on anyone. So the game is set up to kind of let you decide who you want to be in the front lines and take the brunt of it.
Uh-huh.
But it kind of makes it a mess because then you've got one character that's casting the spell on another that's using it. And you can cast it on everyone, so like everyone can get this big boost. But then you're down a character for attacking, and there's like no real indication of, is there a good way to set up a party for these battles? And then I'm not sure exactly how the enemy AI is working here, because sometimes they'll attack the closest person to them, and other times they'll go out of their way to circle around you.
Uh-huh.
Like, if there's a threat mechanic in this game, I can't figure it out.
Huh. Yes, kill him first so he doesn't get healed again. Now kill the doctors. Oh, it only healed itself, thank God.
Headliner has arrived.
Kill it! It has to die!
Yeah, it's weak to wind, so she's
Do
using
you
wind
even
attacks.
have any wind attacks?
I've got that, and her regular attack is a wind attack.
Really? Huh. It healed one of them, didn't it?
No, that was she gets a heal from magic.
Her own attacks? I see.
So they put a lot of effort into this game, but it's haywire.
Uh-huh. Wow.
That didn't hurt at all.
They're just beating the crap out of you.
I know. I feel like there's a ton of strategy to the game to figure out, but it's not worth it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there must be something to it.
This isn't flashy, but it's important.
I mean, it looks to me like you're kind of not using your turn, you know, ideally.
I can go anytime.
Well, you have to be careful not to. There's a lot of times where you do want to like guard early and pick an enemy to bring down, and you got to kind of pick them off one at a time in these situations.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's pretty standard RPG stuff, is kill the enemies one at a time. You know, focus your efforts, basically, but...
It'll be wasteful to not.
Well, it's a huge war of attrition in this case.
Well, I think that if you had focused on the healers...
No, you really got to do the opposite. You got to... the way I was fighting them was kill everything but the healers, save them for last so they're only really healing each other. Because otherwise, you have those unlucky spots, and then you're still you're still left with things that can do high damage to you.
Uh-huh. Oh, I see what's going on. They have really high defense or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, Saturn was the only one that could fight them, too, so I really couldn't focus on them.
Huh.
Headliner has arrived.
But the one thing I'm noticing is that, like, you're doing single attacks up until the point where you do an over thing, and you should be charging your last attack.
Yeah, that's what I was doing for some of them, but in this case, like, Neptunes wouldn't work on those guys, so I just guarded with it. There was no point in using the charge attack.
Her charge attack has an element to it?
I don't remember. That's another problem I have with this. There's so much variance in each individual character's attacks that it's hard to keep track of which is which. It's like memorizing every combination on a four switch combination lock.
Uh-huh.
Just this one time, okay?
It's like you've only got 1 through 9 to work with, but you've got to combine it in 4 different ways.
It looks like if Nep had actually managed to hit, that would have done enough damage.
Well, that was probably just me not paying attention.
Not a good win.
No. The missing thing is, I think, definitely...
Oh, yeah.
That's just the game. Being a jerk.
Yeah, so I spent a good...
So I'm noticing that you're gaining a single level per battle on your characters that are old, and 2 levels per battle on characters that are new.
Yeah, I'm hoping...
Methinks the game expected you to fight more enemies in the earlier dungeons too, but that was interminable.
Well, in the earlier dungeons, there was no challenge left. It was like I wasn't coming up against anything that was, hard to kill.
Yeah, I get that, but
like these are the only enemies that had a good in-between, level of experience to gain.
also you don't seem to be surprising them. You really should be surprising them.
Yeah, I sort of kept forgetting about that too. And here I thought I had an item that I didn't.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it turns out you're supposed to use those a lot more than I was using them too.
The transformations?
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
maps.
He's strong against fire, isn't he? No, I guess not.
And the thing is, if I could have figured out earlier that some of the enemies were weak to wind,
Uh-huh.
then, because they kind of give you that one. They're like, oh, Segami can transform into Saturn, so you can have 2 Saturns, right?
Yeah.
But by the time I figured out that wind attacks were working on the enemies, it was like, oh, it's too late to really do that, so I don't need
Yeah,
it
it doesn't
anymore.
seem like there's any really strong indicator of that.
I even tried, before I did this part of the video, I even tried switching, oh god, what's her name? IF. I tried switching her back to her original class,
Class, yeah.
because I forgot her, I can't remember what any of this is called, her analyze technique.
Uh-huh. Oh, tells you what's what?
I thought it did. I realized when I went back to it, all it tells you is what item the enemy will drop,
Uh-huh.
which is stupid.
Yeah, I agree with that, wholeheartedly.
And I don't know if those get upgraded or not, but it's your class skill. So, like, any other class skill in the universe is better than that, so I switched it back.
Uh-huh.
There is some pretty good variance in the classes, though. Like, with Segami, her original class is a high stat class.
Yeah.
Probably a pretty good tanking class.
Yeah.
But her other class gets a lot of various skills that she can use, so
Right.
running with that for now. That's about the gist of what I've figured out about this game's strategy so far.
Oh man, that's a lot of health.
That doesn't matter. I don't think I ever actually ran into any danger after this point.
Well, it's not the danger, it's just the fact that the fact that you're fighting this thing, and every time it heals, it makes the battle last longer.
Yeah. And they're lasting long enough as it is.
Yeah. Well,
so I think part of the trick to this game is going to be...
you really need to see me play the original Hyperdimension Neptunia for a few minutes at some point.
Maybe
This
I'll
is
pick it up.
actually,
Maybe I'll start recording that next.
Yeah. Let that be. One battle would be a whole video.
Are you serious?
It felt like it. My God. And like the battle is just you tapping. What was it? It was like it'd be like X X X triangle, X X X triangle, X X X triangle, X X X triangle. It was horrible.
That does sound a lot like Cross Game. Is that what it was called? Cross Edge.
Yeah, Cross Edge.
I think Cross Game was an anime about some baseball playing kid that, I don't know.
I have no idea.
It was a love story or something.
Whatever.
It's my turn. Be still, my
I think I forgot that she doesn't do much to these guys.
It
Oh,
doesn't-
that worked.
lift you up.
Oh yeah, the charge-up attacks usually have a different element than
Right.
the regular attack.
Well, I thought the regular attacks were typically like non-elemental. No?
Some of them are and some of them aren't, if I'm
Oh
remembering
wow,
correctly.
that's a little confusing. Charge that. Charge it up.
Flame soul slice.
Now remember that, it's
What should I
It's an easy correlation to make. Fire works against coin,
Yes, that I totally get that.
which I'm sure won't be the case if there's a palette swapped enemy later on.
No, if it's a palette swap, it has to change element. That's the rule of palette swaps. On the plus side, you got those guys up to 2 points, to level 10 in 5 battles.
Yeah, it didn't take too long, accepting the fact that battles do take a pretty long time.
I think the battles would take a little less time if you got surprises in more often. Because really, getting the initiative allows you to take out a couple of the enemies, which reduces their turn density.
Let's get this done.
You probably want to heal at this point, right?
No,
Right?
not really.
Guys?
Healing. It's my turn.
I'm pretty
Thank
sure that
goodness
Segami
you
was
get your health
meant to be
back
the
when
tank
you...
in this game.
Gracefully.
Yeah. Thank goodness you get your health back when you level. Like, at the end of the last battle, most of your characters had, like, 1/4 of their health or less.
Yeah, they're leveling up like mad, so...
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I think you have to carry a few more healing items in this game than they really tell you about.
Uh-huh. Do you buy them at the store, or do you pick them up in the dungeons?
Both.
Really? Well, at least they're available in the store directly. They aren't in Hyperdimension Neptunia. Charge it up! Okay, don't.
Finish this at once. Right there.
Okay, that one wasn't so bad.
They let us have more fun.
Just everybody is leveling more. Credit obtained.
I'm gonna get All right. This is good.
Yeah, and that's another thing. They mix up the skills so much that I'm not exactly sure where... like, it seems like she should be a tank, but then she gets this obvious thief skill.
Uh-huh. Well, that's not a thief skill. It's just a money buff.
Yeah. Usually a thief skill.
No, not really.
Most of the
It's
games
usually
I play.
it's usually like a special skill, because it doesn't have anything to do with thievery per se. Because it doesn't require an action. It's a passive skill.
Well, I mean, it usually ends up being something that a thief class or some kind of farming class would get.
Maybe, yeah.
Money up, LOL.
Did it say that on the screen somewhere?
No.
Okay.
No, that was my stroke of genius.
I wouldn't go so far as to call it that. Do the medals do anything? Or are they like the points, and whose line is it anyway?
You know, Histy taught us about this once. Were you taking notes?
No!
No people in this arcade.
No.
Of course, it's like a death arcade where you get attacked by everything, so I'm not surprised.
That's what bothered me. They're like, oh, it's an amusement park. I'm like, full of monsters.
There's a couple of things they could do to this game that would make it so much more playable. Number one, they could make it so that you can individually set whose voice actresses are on and off, and if you turn Neps off, she like frowns at you.
Uh-huh.
She never stops frowning until you turn it back on. I could see myself getting through the game if that were the case.
Yeah. I can see liking the game a lot more if they did that.
Only with the frown, though. The frown is definitely a necessity. Otherwise, it's just a mild improvement. Ah, coffee.
There they are.
It's the only thing getting me through this game.
Kill it. It has to die.
See what I mean? It's just going to heal out of that now. So it's
Well,
like
if it gets a turn.
it's basically like you know, wait for Saturn so you can attack it. Otherwise, you're using like all of your characters.
Well, if it prevents you from having to kill the enemies 3 times over, that might be worth it.
Okay. Going all out. It's my turn.
Oh, she's not even close enough to hit it. Wonderful.
Yeah, but I didn't care at this point.
Well, I care.
Finally, my turn.
That was a frustration charge.
Minor has
Skip.
arrived. Here I go. 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 Mine. That was good.
It makes me so angry that she keeps lauding the enemy.
Nothing. Right there. Eat this.
Yeah, another mistake that I'm making is not keeping the characters separated well enough.
What should I
Yeah.
do? Eat this. You were so unprepared. One step closer to the ultimate. All right. This is good.
Dialogues shall be skipped.
I guess you can go first. Ow! Ah! What are you doing?
Wow. Yeah, you really need to not get surprised in this game. Holy cow.
I'll give it this, there's very few games where I actually worried about it. This is definitely going to be one of them.
Yeah.
Flame Soul
Beautiful. Charge attack. No damage. So, we'll remember that fire does not work on cats.
I'll finish this at
I'm sure that standard will stay in place throughout the play. I really think that they didn't like structure the resistances at all. Like in most games I've played, there will be a certain type of enemy where even if you find a different version of it later on, it might have the same elemental weakness. I don't think that's going to hold true in this game.
So far, the enemy design in this game has been, dare I say, psychotic?
Well, if you're gonna put it nicely,
Yeah, I had to tone it down a bit, you know.
I mean, if it's any indication how much I don't care about this whole half hour of gameplay, I'm pretty much just sitting here sipping coffee waiting for this video to end. Now, on the upside, we learned that during the Lily assists, they can double up on the character.
Yeah. Possible treasure. No treasure. No treasure. Haha.
I don't know where the distance for hitting them lands, but
Yeah, it doesn't seem very well defined. You were trying to remember whether he was resistant or not, weren't you? There?
yes. Well, he's the same size as the cat guy.
Yeah, I know.
Fire is actually his weakness.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'll finish this at once.
Yeah, she was doing more damage with that than anyone else.
Hey, that looks like it might help, right? Assuming they're not all resistant to it. It missed one somehow. Yeah, do it again.
I'll do this gracefully. Disappear.
That was pretty effective. And now you can kill the healer before it heals anything.
Yeah, like I said, some of this might have worked better if the double Saturn trick had been in mind before they became strong enough that it wasn't an issue.
Get this done.
Right.
That was super
Well, at least the
easy.
grinding didn't take too long.
Yeah, it's basically this video, and then I'm hoping in the next video I can get a bit of game progress.
Yeah.
I'm not counting this as progress.
Well,
I just got run down by Cool Spot, okay?
Hey, those Coin Man things are not nearly as cool as Cool Spot. I bet they won't even give you a nice crisp 7-Up when you're done fighting.
No, they will not. Just horrible memories.
Horrible memories of horrible gameness.
Here we go.
I still climb like a retard.
Here we go.
I mean, even the music in this game is meant for like a fun amusement park level. And it's
I
just
know,
a grind fest.
It's just
There's nothing special in here. Go in, get medals, grind. Don't even
Is
get
there
an
a place
event.
that you can actually do some gambling or something like that?
Jump.
I mean, if there was, it didn't stand out, so I didn't go looking.
Yeah, it looks like it's all just